All right, welcome back to a third day, second half. Continue working on the diploma painting. As I mentioned, I just took a quick break because what I wanted to do, I wanted to get a fixative or something like a header spray, something that it's nice and sticky to kind of a fix or fixative to fix the painting. So I'm going to do just that. It's going to take a little bit to set, but it's all good. You don't want to use a lot of it. I'm just being very light with it, and it's really from far away. And the reason is I just want to fix just the large pieces of this or large areas of shape right here, and then I'm going to start directly with that's about it. And then I'm going to continue. That's just a crazy English. Then I'm going to continue with the painting. I have two options. I can actually right now go into it again with the charcoal and erase a couple things, or not necessarily erase, redraw. I won't be able to erase very easily right now. Another things that I want to do, I want to tape corners, or not corners, the boundaries right here, because I want to make sure that I don't go over that. So I always see, and I can retape the bottom corner. And the reason why I want to do this, it's because I need to make sure that I keep my composition correct, right? And when I say correct, I mean in the boundaries, right? So I created a line, and I'm going to keep it consistent in this. I want to make sure that it sticks there properly, because this canvas is not going to be used properly anymore. It's just going to be used as a part of a when I'm going to be restretching it. I'm sorry, I'm trying to still think and work simultaneously, and my brain doesn't really want to. I hope I'm not going to fall down from this. This is crazy. Don't do this at home. Ah! No, ain't going to work. I need to use a different stool. Let me just borrow some of my colleagues here in the back. All right. Same thing, I just want to tape from corner to corner so I have that nice kind of a clean edge right there. I don't really mind what is above there, simply because it's all going to be stretched on the new stretch bar, since I decided to change the size. Or actually, that's a completely different composition that I'm working on right now. So while my canvas not necessarily is drying, but the fixative is setting, I can do this because it takes a while to dry. But when I say while, I mean literally seconds, maybe minute or two. So that's actually a perfect time for me to do this. And the other thing that I'm doing this is because then I can reapply, take it away and reapply it so I still have a clean edge. So I don't, not necessarily accidentally go out of the boundaries. I know that I'm going to go out of the boundaries, but it's, I don't need to really then paint over it. I can just put the tape down and repaint it. So it will be easier for me to still see the edge, because that's the important part. I need to see the composition. You remember sometimes they tell you to create when you do your little sketches, they will advise you to do a black frame around it. So you clean the composition, so you don't have these lines going out, because then you might be actually confused what the composition is. It's just, it's a good practice, especially when you do something big or something that is particularly important when it comes to size. So you have to fit a specific size. There's this little thing that bothers me here. That's just that visual pollution that I hate, right? Because it's then it feels like a diagonal that is part of the composition visually when I'm looking at from a distance. So I can see right now my painting as a whole unit, it kind of works. I think that the only problem that I have is that this mass, and this is kind of a big shape, and when it comes to not volume but the size. So that's something that I will probably have to deal with. And right now, I don't know how good and how well it is preserved, that charcoal. I don't think that these big chunks are, yeah, this is all gonna, I'm going to wipe it slightly because I want to keep it very homogeneous, but you can see that it's not really wiping completely, just really just only the yeah, you can see that this is just exactly what I wanted to soften it. This is like putting a little layer, or those of you who work with Photoshop or other digital medium, this is like a something that you would do with the layer, like a loose opacity a little bit, right? So it's going to be less opaque. And what I'm doing, I'm just wiping out excess charcoal that was there that was not actually caught by that fixative. Right, so it's not really, I don't really mind to lose the detail a little bit, because this is not about the detail. All this should be covered. So less charcoal that's there, the better for me. I'm not really afraid to lose the perfect drawing, because first of all, it was not a perfect drawing. So I'm really kind of getting rid of all the excess charcoal. I don't want to mix, I don't want it to be mixed with the pigment. Because right now I want to do like something that you might call a grisaille over this, right? So I'm going to go with one pigment, one color, and I'm going to work transparently, and I'm going to use some of the underpainting, and I'm going to get rid of the parts that I don't like, and then I'm going to bring light back. That means that I'm going to go with the full color on top of it. I hope that you guys, when you're looking at me, you can see that I'm sweating. This is actual work, going up and down, moving with your hands. It's a demanding thing. Let me just go wash my hands, and then we can start and go with the painting. I'll be All right, I'm back. I still don't have one thing that I kind of need, and that's a little jar that I could use for a, maybe something, maybe I can find something here. No, nothing. Like a little jar for my, um, let me just use a large brush. Where are my large brushes? There you are, guys. There you are. I can see you. I can see you. For my medium. So I guess we're gonna just do the old school way. Bad student. I'm just going to drop a little bit in the middle of the palette, and I'm just gonna drag the pigment into it. I'm gonna do like a nice mixture for myself. Something really potent, almost Rembrandt-like. Let's see what how this is going to work. Yeah, this might work actually. Cool. So you're gonna see how quickly paint is going to disappear here. Maybe even a little darker, I might say. And I can still see that I'm taking a little bit of that charcoal away, but that's okay. No worries there. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Nice. And I want to create like a very random kind of a feel to it. Let me maybe use a get rid of this thick charcoal here. To scratch it out a little bit, because it's still a thick layer. It wasn't enough with the paper towel. Cool. Just a little bit to see if it's working a little better. Yeah, nice, awesome. Perfect. Now this is going to give me a nice kind of a warm base, you know, like a Rembrandt-esque. And you can still see like in the areas, I don't know, maybe it's just going to be a little bit more glare. But you can see how slowly the painting's starting to change. Or drawing rather. It might be too warm, but that's okay if it's too warm. Because the beauty of this is that I can always wipe it away with the paper towel while it's wet. Right, so I'm going to clean it up a little bit. And it doesn't seem that difficult to cover it all as a whole canvas, but trust me, it's not as easy as it looks to go over all this thing. First of all, you might be like, oh, what am I doing? Destroying it, so on and so forth. But no worries. It's all going to work out, hopefully. And if not, you know, always it was a fun experiment, right? And remember what I'm always doing, I'm going all the way in the corners. because that's something that you're gonna hate if you don't have. So Simpson here. Yeah, very cool. Let me grab a paper towel. Let's see if I can start smearing it a little bit more, so I don't use that much pigment. Oh yeah. Because I want a really, really thin layer. This is just a cool. Yeah. And this by itself, it's already going to give me like a really interesting transitions, and you can slowly start seeing that. This is why they say that good underpainting is so important. I didn't do a really, really good job with underdrawing actually, but right now I can start going with this and bring it all together, and it's immediately going to look a little bit more painterly. Plus, this is going to give me that nice, something that I like, kind of a nice, what's the word that I'm looking for? A layer of oil on top of that acrylic pigment, which is something that makes it a little bit more enjoyable to paint on. It's slightly more, what would be the word? For me, and this is a, you know, different people have different preferences for this. Oh, my arm is going to hurt today, that's for sure. Let me just go grab that stool one more time, because this is going to be a pain to work when it's that high. Maybe I can push it a little lower. I'll still have a couple of rotations here. Yeah, let's do that. Right, nice, cool. Yeah, a little better. And even though this looks like it's no, like it's no big deal, I like to spend quite a lot of time here in this stage. And you might remember this when I was working on the different projects. or some of you who are returning to the channel, that I really like to spend a lot of time here, because this is going to give me like a little bit better understanding of where my painting is going to, how my painting is going to look. And it's not like I have to then follow it to the exact, but this is more like my value study right now. I did a preliminary sketch of this painting, and right now this is my value study, when I'm going to more focus on light shape and dark shape. Clean it even more. Nice. All right, getting there slowly. We're somewhere in like a 1/5 of a journey of just covering it with the pigment. So this is not bad. Let me get more pigment. So you can see like tubes with pigment are just going to fly away from my palette. It's just the nature of painting in a large scale. Now I have yellow ochre. That's cool. I need sienna. Right. So there's a. That puts you into perspective, like you know, what kind of a. Like how much does it cost only for the materials, not even, you know, the amount of time that you spend, but just simply on the sheer scale. It's interesting because when you think about, like, let's say, Rubens, this would probably be done by his students. See, I can nicely right now wipe away a little bit of that excess pigment so I can see. It also gives like a kind of an old school vibe to painting. It looks like an old sketch that was a very long time forgotten, and it just yellowed down over time. And I should use actually a cloth, not a paper towel. Let me see if I have some cloth here. Let me go. Ah, there it is. We'll need probably something bigger. Give me a second. Oh, I don't see anything that I could use. Oh, there it is. I got it. And there is because it doesn't leave that kind of a lint or something like that, and it wipes better. It has a, you can see like this is way better. Nice. Now we're talking. Because I want it to be lighter. Awesome. Yeah, now we're talking. Perfect. So I would recommend you to use a actual cloth. Make sure that you don't. Perfect. And the nice thing is that we can then use some of this underpainting. And since this is very random and I would even call it extremely abstract, on top of something concrete, some of these brush strokes may give us, you know, those happy accidents. Which we like so much. And it's already starting to look like a sky a little bit. Awesome. Nice. Cool. I know that on your camera, on the display, it looks like the middle part is lighter. That's a glare from the window. I apologize for that. There's nothing I can do with it. I myself going back and forth because I thought that it's completely different value, but looking from the side, that it's all good. So don't worry about that. And since I'm working with the warm underpainting, the cool part is that right now, and that's something that Rembrandt utilized so much, and you know, for those of you who watch my stream periodically, you guys know that Rembrandt is the guy for me when it comes to. Where did I put my? There's my brush. Let me just go wash my hand because it's. I didn't put the gloves on. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back with, yeah, so I'm trying to also go with the flow. You know, I want to see the sky, and then I'm gonna hit it with the figures, and then maybe lightly with the other parts. Let's see how that's going to work for me. Like I said, some of you might remember me painting or doing something very similar with left side panel of first version, or actually that was a third version rather. This is a, no, fourth version. This is a second version. A fourth version, I mean the one that we painted together with 3 panels. So I was doing that nicely developed underpainting with this kind of a technique with a ultramarine and burnt sienna. Right now I'm using limited palette, which is more like a sienna, cadmium red and black, which is giving me kind of a warmish a tone. Let me try to get the gloves on. These gloves are too small for me, so I have to order bigger ones. And by the way, today I heard in the radio that in St. Petersburg was one of the warmest days that they remember. It was 25 degrees Celsius today in St. Petersburg. That's ridiculous. Tomorrow is supposed to be like a 10 degrees. I don't know what's happening with the weather. All right, let's go for it. Yeah, it seems like it's semi-stable, our connection. So let's see. Am I recording it? Yes, also recording it, so it's cool. So I'll be able to then post it. A little bit more black. I need more of that coolness there. And you can see me that I'm always remixing it. And the reason is because I have these variations there then. Like sometimes something is a little bit cooler, sometimes something is a little warmer, and that will give you like, oh yeah, now we're talking. Now we're cooking with gas. it's turning into a greener, it's turning into a warmer reddish, orangish. That's kind of that's that nice, you know, Bob Ross kind of a happy accidents, happy little tree attitude. Awesome. Let's see. Oh yeah, perfect. So you might want to think about this as me staining the canvas. Probably the best way to think about this. Or toning it down. Nice. Right now you can see how my excuse me where my window is and how much reflection I'm getting. This is going to be painful to paint, so I'm going to probably put it into the under the angle so I don't have the direct light hitting it. Nice. Sienna, a little bit of this black right here, and a little bit of medium. I wish I would have taken even larger brushes because this is taking a little, but it's okay. You can see like this is the brush that I'm using. Like it's as wide almost as my, it's a 7 centimeters wide, so it's a real brush. For real painters. I'm just kidding, I'm sorry, I just couldn't resist to make that joke. See, like I'm, you know, see the abstract things, and suddenly it's getting character. Immediately the drawing is getting a little bit more character, something we can start work with. You might be reluctant to do this, and I understand why. And I was very, what would be the word? Unease when I was doing it first time, but right now it's just it's a way to go for me. I can start layer this painting, and I can start, at least this was gonna help me to understand the relationships between pigments better, right? And when I say relationship between pigments, I mean when it's all white, for some reason, me specifically, it's difficult to understand what's happening. Like somehow I can't judge it properly. But the moment when it's like in a tone, slightly toned, suddenly I know, oh, okay, so it's not pure white, but I can work with a lot of light values. And that's probably the biggest problem with paintings of mine, that I'm making everything dark. And I was caught I caught myself actually doing, not doing it, but I saw it during the exhibition, right? So I saw how dark my paintings were compared to some of the students that they paint lighter. And that's why these exhibitions, or it's not even exhibitions, these are, well, you can call them exhibitions, but those are students' work, and we are hanging our work from that particular semester next to each other, and you can see not only a progress, but you can see also improvement or mistakes, or you can simply compare, and that's the beautiful way. It's compare and contrast, which basically painting is based on. So I saw my paintings next to paintings, a same setup, maybe slightly different rotation of the same model, and how my paints were dull and dark, and someone next to me like bright and vivid and happy and just, you know, singing, and that was eye-opening. I remember that it was so, well, first of all, devastating, because I was so sad that my work is so bad. But then I made a mental note that, okay, this is what I'm doing. It's mistake, not necessarily mistake. It's not, I'm not using the full range. And I should. And it was so obvious. But somehow I couldn't see it on my own. I had to experience that next to another painters. And while I'm doing this, interestingly enough, I'm thinking about the sky and how would Leviathan, back with the dinner, whoa, that's dark, underpainting. It's just look like that because it's getting darker in the studio in the back. But there's it's a little lighter than it seemed right now. And there is like a really, really big glare right there. And I'm going to then wipe out a little more and play with it to get these lights back. And then maybe if a time stands, I'm actually going to bring the white and with a little bit of black, and you're going to see how blue it's going to feel on the painting immediately. So it's going to be fun. I have a lot of pigment in my brush. Let me just clean it a little bit. And then it's dark because there's a lot of charcoal there, you know, so it's understandable. But still I can see the main things, and right now we can bring that beautiful light on top of it, you know. I'm going to nicely wipe it away, so there's not that much of a, it's not that dark, even though it seems that way. Right, so I have a little bit of this, and then I can go again and start wiping it away slowly. And I'm gonna find these places that I really want it to be bright, right around here, a little bit of here, and you can see, like, to bring the highlights, call this. Right around here, right? So just slowly gonna start popping and merging away from that darkness, which I like so much. This makes me really happy to paint that way. So what I'm doing right now, I'm actually, you know, taking away the excess paint. So I have just the stain. I don't want anything else. I just want to stain the canvas. And you can see that the top part is going to be darker, and as I go down, it's getting lighter, because that's also intention in the sketch. It was slightly lighter on the bottom. And the reason why it's a lighter on the bottom and darker on the light, it's because on the dark background, I'm going to have the faces, portraits popping out, and the crest popping out right here. And the other way around here, there's going to be dark figures popping from the light background. And remember the discussion that we had. I talked about this multiple times throughout the course of our streams. Is that kind of a beautiful interplay between light and dark, and that beautiful illusion of and my palette is still very absorbent, so I'm using more medium than I would usually do, you know, if my palette would be on the glass, because this is getting really sink in. I haven't had a chance to prepare my palette, so I didn't even feel it's necessary, because, you know, 2 or 3 painting session and it's going to be stained completely anyway, so I just went with it. It's not the ideal way though, so please. These are specific conditions that I have to work under, only because of the, you know, the limited time that I have to finish this. And again, just staining it. And you can see that the canvas is wobbling a little bit. It's because it's slightly I'm so curious how it will turn out. Well, you know, hopefully great. I don't know. Don't excuse me. Don't scare me right now. Have a little faith in me, please. Oops. Because you remember when I was working on that previous iteration of the same topic, I had a problem with that figures. I started to paint the figures, and then the background wasn't there, and then I was worried about the fact that all that, you know, like what to do with the background. Right now, I'm not going to do the same mistake. I already know that that will be very painful. I'm just going to throw the background there immediately because I know what to do. Well, no, I'm kind of assuming what to do with the figure, so I'm not afraid that much. I have a color sketch. I have a little bit more information about this. This is not the first time I'm painting this setup, right? So I have color sketches prepared for this. So I'm not that worried. I'm sweaty. It's a labor. So I'm trying to get all the pigment there, even out from my brush, because it's, and this brush is going to be destroyed completely after this. I don't know if I'm going to be able to clean it perfectly because I'm really pushing it. And again, wiping away excess paint, excess pigment, and staining the whole thing. And it got a little darker here because you know, like the really, really warm weather, it's really, what's the word that I'm looking for? It's humid here right now. Like they actually had to spray roads with the water. Because it was so much like dust particles after the winter in the air that it was kind of almost unbreathable. So during the night I saw them kind of spraying roads with the water. Right, I'm almost there. Just a little bit. A little bit more of this. Let's just scrape the whole. Perfect. There we go. I successfully stained whole canvas. That took me only 30 minutes. I'm sorry. Just so you know, your internet seems very unstable now. Maybe something to note for later on. No worries though. There's nothing I can do with it. I'm sorry, GM7. There's nothing I can do with it. It's just, I'm working on it. I'm trying to, you know, make sure. I ordered another router, with the more, because I'm using actually my cell phone as a router right now, because you know, I can't really get a proper internet connection here. Since it's a historic building, they did not allow me to, you know, put the antenna dish or something, you know, in the window. So I'll have to figure something out. But thank you for pointing it out. It's really annoying for me as well. I'm seeing here when I'm checking my bit rate is jumping up and down like crazy. But I'm recording it, so, and then I'll try to upload it to YouTube later tonight. Both parts from today. So. And plus, I think that more and more people, it's right now, because this is a kind of a center area, people are going, you know, walking and using cell phones and so on and so forth. So I think there is a more of a demand for usage in this area right now. They actually told me that that's what's going to happen, that I should be prepared for that. But unfortunately, there's no other way right now. Right. Awesome. Okay, let me just put it a little bit more under the angle right now to see. If it's going to have a less glare. Yeah, slightly better. So it seems really dark, but it's not that dark. Just wanted to let you be aware of it. Yeah, I know. I tried. I appreciate your help and your insight on that, because you probably know the best what the internet is doing right now. I see only bit rates jumping up and down, and based on that, I assume that it's not really a pleasant watching, and it's probably lagging a lot. And I apologize for that. I'm working on it. Unfortunately, priority for me right now is to be here doing this. So. But tomorrow, I think that school is going to be closed, so I won't be able to get here. I don't know. So maybe I can check it tomorrow what I can do. It's still watchable for you? Okay, that's awesome. All right, so we have this, and right now, what to do next? Are we going to play with some pigments? Are we going to throw some white into it? Be deliberately annoying? We could. So let's see what we can do. Let me go clean myself real quick, because this has to go to a trash can. Let me put this on the side. I'm going to wash myself. I'll be right back. Just give me a second. All right, I'm back here. It's just a okay. So what did we decided on? Or am I going to start throwing some pigments there? I guess we should. There's no time to waste. I need to see composition a little better. So let me maybe mix in some. Let's do some painting finally, right? Let me mix in some nice pigments here. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Let's bring that sky a little bit more up to speed. Right. Let me turn on my where's my iPad so I can turn on a Visual 8 because I have a color sketch, so it's easier. Oh my goodness. Yeah, throw them out, anger. No, it's another bad joke. It's just you're right on the money. It's going to be an anger, but a slightly different anger. It's just going to be fun. Maybe I could introduce a little bit of ultramarine so we can go. I can see the full spectrum. A little bit of ultramarine. Let's have fun. So it's going to be, unfair limited palette. But it's only because I want to see how far I can push it, and not necessarily even how far. I want a little bit more saturation there, and you can see I'm just gonna go with a lot of pigment. Oh, cool. Yeah, now we're talking. See, just a little bit, and create a little bit kind of a nice composition there. Right, a little bit here, and I have a bits and pieces here in between these guys right here. Kind of a nice. Yeah, I just want to start, working with that environment there. Because it's going to, right now I'm not working with dark and light, I'm working strictly with with the graphic shapes. I just want to see how it is going to look. Like the value range that I can use, rather. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm so into painting right now. I'm so excited. Finally, we're here. We're painting. So it's so cool for me to just enjoy that. let's keep it loose and fresh and fluent, right? And I need a little bit more of this, slightly darker, not even darker, but maybe just a bit more. Getting a little bit more of that diagonal there that I'm missing right now. Right here, his shoulder. And as you can see, I am actually applying fairly big chunks of pigment, but then I'm spreading them out so I don't have, there's no hard edges there. This is just this is abstract painting. This is as abstract as I can get in my life. And I'm enjoying this probably the most. But here's the thing, I feel very confident, not because randomness, but because I already saw where I want to have these shapes, right? So it's a little bit easier for me to just throw the pigments around and be just having, you might call it a little bit brave. I'm not necessarily brave because I see the white areas or the lighter areas where I want to have these. Right, so are we going to have another ad break? I don't understand this. What's happening? I just saw that there was an ad. All right, so in 3 minutes we're going to have an ad break, which is cool because for those of you who paint alongside, I know that I was a little bit all over the place lately, but same thing applies here than in my studio, and that's just take a little break from painting and just look somewhere else. I'm definitely going to look outside from the window from where I'm standing, so. Maybe soften it even a little bit more with this. Oh, cool. Yeah, that's what we need to incorporate it a little bit into that. So we have that kind of a, with big brush strokes there. So it looks nice. Awesome. So it looks a little bit more random. Excuse me. This cough is just driving me crazy. All right, more of this. And you can see I squeezed all the white, it's gone. Let's get a little bit more of this blue into it. And let's get a little bit of a, oops, not this red, a little bit of that English red. I want to get a little cooler. Let's throw it here as well. To show his silhouette a little bit better. And then here. So we have something to work with. Maybe even around his head a little bit from this side. So you can start seeing his shape. You see the silhouette starting to be him, like from the sketch, right? And it's very, I don't know, I like to do this a lot. And I remember that, you know, that all these kind of having fun comes with that, you know, with that little bit of experience, that you feel a little bit more confident with applying a pigment. Being, you know, what would even be the word? Having fun? Or not even that. I would maybe even go further and willing to, it's not necessarily willing to, it's more like accepting the fact that you are wrong. Or accepting the fact that I am wrong. Actually, I can go even lower here because I wanted to have that, I remember that little dip. And then here a little, where is it? A little darker value. Because I don't want it to be a focal point, but I still want it to be there. So it's straight right here. Maybe the water could be somewhere here. A little piece of water there. And then there's a sky around here. I'm going here. And then here. So what I'm doing, I'm just searching for the shape. And I'm letting the randomness of a brush and, you know, mixing of different types of pigments back and forth. A little bit of red into this and a little bit of blue, and just let it do its magic. I'm not even going to mix it fully. Let's mix it there on the canvas. Right, the diagonal. Maybe even a little bit of this. Somewhere here. A little bit more of the blue. Oh yeah, now we're talking. Yeah, into that. Yep, perfect. Okay, nice. So I have like the general shape there with the sky, not perfect, but maybe I could. This might be a little too. Like to give it a little bit more, a little softer transition here. I'm sorry, my microphone was not on, and I'm talking like a crazy here. My apologies. You know me. I always forget something. So I am working with the good old brush. And I'm quickly laying down some values, and I'm trying to create very quickly some kind of a sense of a painting. It's not the ideal way to work, but you know, desperate times asking for desperate measures. You remember how we just when I was working on that commission, I add raw umber into everything because I knew that it dries quickly, a little bit into white. Well, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just throwing pigments around based on what I remember from previously painting this painting. Well, this sketch, and then also I am being inspired of what we've done together with the different iteration of this painting, right? So I'm going for it. Full blown. I think it might work. I'm not sure. I think it might. I would like to show more of the feet, but that's going to be issue on its own. But I should probably think about it during the weekend. And then push it really hard. Also, I still use a walnut alkyd medium for that purpose. Also because I like how it thin downs the paint, so it's easier to apply on the first layer. Yeah, that's something that, you know, for me, the first layer, and you know what, usually, or you know, not usually, I might have, in ideal conditions, you remember this, in under ideal conditions, I would, you know, spend way more time here. But you know, like I said, because of desperate times, ask for desperate measures, I'm just throwing the pigment right now, based on my memory from the paintings that I had to leave at home, because I remember applying these, you know, the similar process of how to paint that kind of a not necessarily weird portrait, but the rougher portrait, right? I don't want these beautiful kind of nice and thin layers right now, because I don't have that much time. I wouldn't have time to build up that pigment, so it all has to go in. Same goes for the other environment, right? So I would have to start right now covering the sky a little bit more darker bluer instead of warmer redder, because I want to have a contrast between the dark sky, and then slowly transfer into a slightly different shade or different temperature of their costumes, because right now everything looks okay because they're all harmonized with that underpainting. The moment, and you remember I talked about this, the moment I'm going to start putting more and more paint on the canvas, that kind of a harmony is just going to go away. And then as you remember, bringing back that harmony, I like to do a dry brush all over again, and then start bringing some stuff up, and then wiping, and you know, excuse me. I don't know if I'll have enough time to do this. But there are some areas that I already like so much that I would leave them as they are, and I wouldn't be, you know, concerned necessarily. And do you know why? Because again, my brain, it doesn't have anything to compare it to, right? So the moment this portrait is going to be developed a little bit more, suddenly this is not going to work at all, and this is not going to fly. Never, right? And then it's probably up to me how far I want to push it, because the moment I start bringing more details into portraits and, you know, into hands and, you know, the main figures, the more I will have to go to the side, right? Because it would require a little bit more information. Right now, for instance, I really like what's happening here. It's random, there's the brush strokes, you can kind of tell that it's a land behind it, there is something else here. I'm done with this. That's a beautiful kind of a quick sketch. So I wish I would be so bold when I'm doing a plein air outside. Maybe I should try to paint plein air like this, with a little bit more of a randomness and having funness. Yeah, I think this is it for today. I'm gonna let it sit. It's gonna dry a little bit till tomorrow, and tomorrow I'm gonna be here again, hitting it hard. Let me put a little bit more of a portrait right here as well. Where are you, guy? Where are you, my guy? I think he should be right here somewhere, I guess. Well, it's going to be here. There's a portrait right here. There is this distance from here to here is the same, then distance from almost the same, then distance from there to there. So I would probably have to add someone. I think I had the person right here behind. One more, right there. Yeah. You see, I'm just working with the value, and also I should probably. It wouldn't be bad if I just create the book that it's right here, because that's a big part of the composition as well. The book that he's holding. Let me get a little bit more of the desaturated pigment. Oh yeah, cool. Cool. Okay, well, there's a problem with with my microphone again. Another problem is just battery died on me, so I think it's time to end for today. It was awesome. I'm gonna clean up because I have to be out by 9, and I'm looking forward tomorrow, guys. So please stay cool, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye, guys.